Hello and welcome. This is a special occasion for us as we are celebrating our actual 30th business anniversary. I'm Yvette Brown, co-founder of X Promos, and I became an entrepreneur at 23 by starting a promotions agency with my then 29-year-old business partner, Sherry Nomadi.
Hi, and I'm Sherry Nomadi. Before we started our own business together, Yvette and I worked together on the West Coast at a West Coast office of a big sales promotion agency that was later acquired by an even bigger ad agency. I was an account supervisor, and initially Yvette was miscast as an account coordinator.
Yeah, back then I was terrible at timesheets, but excellent at coming up with new ideas. I was completely and totally unaware of corporate politics. Instead, I was all in on how cool it was that in the world of marketing and advertising, promotional results were actually measurable, and you could see the gains generated when you brought your ideas to life.
Yvette and I worked together on many accounts, and there were several senior executives at our home office that commented on how well we worked together. Me as the client service driven person, and Yvette with the creativity, and that we realized we really did have something pretty special. It was very unusual to find an account and a creative team that connected as well as we did. And back then, some of those senior confidants of ours were 20, 30 years older than us, and they regularly suggested that Yvette and I go out and start our own gig.
Yeah, meanwhile, I routinely butted heads with not my boss, but with my boss's boss. I fought for what I thought was right and for clients so that we could never really understand the hierarchy involved with political protocol. And once I was actually arguing with the head of the satellite office, who was my boss's boss, until she began yelling at me. Waiting outside of her office was the VP from that big ad agency that owned us. As I left her office, I heard him say to her, I wouldn't have anyone working for me that ever made me react like that.
Yeah, Yvette was not very corporate. I did come from a corporate background, and I completely understood how to play the corporate game. Things changed for me, and I got pregnant, had my second child, and found out that the president of the agency stated in a team meeting that I was now marching to the beat of a different drummer. So there I was with a newborn baby and a 3-year-old at home. My husband had this very stable government job, and it did require him to work late hours, so keeping a 9 to 5 Monday through Friday was pretty important to my home life. But after that comment, I was really no longer interested in being a part of this organization. So what did I do? I backed my boss into a corner and actually got her to fire me.
Yeah, and Sherry and I had worked so well together that honestly, I was afraid things would fail if I continued at the agency without her. As an account team, she was good at everything that I wasn't, and vice versa. And doing great work for appreciative clients was all I really wanted to do. So I remember after Sherry got herself fired, we went shopping at South Coast Plaza. While we were shopping in the Robinson's Made dress department, we talked about starting our own agency. We talked it through that afternoon, going through the sales racks, and decided to give it a go. I thought, what's the worst that can happen? We fail, and then we go get a job. Big deal. It's not a career record.
Yeah, actually we were as fearless then as we are today. For me, the tipping point was that I would regret not trying, and I knew we were a strong team, so I was willing to take the jump. And I am lucky to have an amazing husband that fully supported my efforts. Yet we ventured out on this on our own. I felt the full weight of really needing to succeed while trying to balance my life as a wife and a mother, and now a business owner.
I just figured, how hard could it be?
Yeah, I know, pretty much. That really became our life mantra. How hard could it be? We did have an ace in the hole, though. I had a great relationship with one of the main clients who had pledged to give us some work when we started up our own agency, and having that safety net really sort of sealed the deal for us.
That was great. until he got cold feet and backed out.
Yeah, that was huge. Unexpected gut punch for sure. Early in our new venture, I was afraid to share that news with my husband, so I just leaned in a little more and started reaching out to all of the contacts that I could. Of course, this was way before LinkedIn, cell phones, anything.
Yeah.
We set up a lot of appointments. We pitched all of our work over Southern California. We even pitched a couple of ad agencies on the idea of bringing us in as a team to head up their promotions group. They didn't really understand that, and in hindsight, I am really glad that didn't work out.
Totally. We did, however, get started pretty early on with a lady from Beverly Hills on a license that she owned. We brought the thing to life, we gave it legs, we produced her first product line and order, and we even found and pitched it to a sales channel on her behalf. We totally over-delivered, and in the end, though, she didn't see it that way, and she ended up not paying us as described. It was kind of a nightmare.
Yep, fair to say it really wasn't a good fit. But then finally, our biz development efforts paid off. I had reached out to someone that we had worked with at our old sales promotion agency in Chicago, and she had moved to LA to take a job at Mattel Toys.
We were still scraping by at the time. That licensing project left us a little bit in the red, and setting up our office had kind of maxed out our credit cards. It was so tight at the time that we routinely would sneak into the nearby Carl's Jr. to get free refills with our old cups for as many days in a row as we could. It was that bad.
And then we got the call from that old colleague of ours, now at Mattel. They had decided that they had a brand new large doll coming out, and they were struggling mightily in the ad testing, so they wanted to try and do a retail product demo. They asked if we could come in and convince their retailers to let them do it. We were asked to create a proposal on how to do this, and at the same time, it really wasn't commonplace back then for brands to be in store and hosting events like this. So we knew our proposal had to be so strong that Mattel could convince these retail partners to let us do this and come in and do in-store demonstration. I realized that our contact at Mattel and her boss were examples of ideal clients for us. And that was because they were willing to give us a chance, but also because they themselves were marketing innovators just like we were. They applied fresh tactics to tried and true strategies and gave us the freedom to innovate. They really did challenge us to deliver.
Yeah, I was so excited for the opportunity to make this work that I wanted to know all about the doll, what made it special, and wanted to create this really killer presentation with just some time to kind of get my thoughts together. Instead, I got a sell sheet and a really quick deadline. So we jumped in and we came up with the idea that changed everything. We recommended that Mattel level up those demos and create a pretend baby shower at retail. Since the magic of the doll was in the reveal, we put together the idea of replicating that particular action for every attendee. You see, when you buy the doll, you don't know the gender and you don't know the hairstyle and the outfit and that type of thing until you soaked the homecoming gown in water. The gown magically dissolves, and then you find your birth certificate and a special outfit. So all of the event materials invited parents and children to come to a baby shower at the store. We gave away one doll at every event so people had the added incentive to come even though they weren't familiar with the doll. That's kind of the power of free. I knew it would work.
So we presented the baby shower concept, they loved it, and we won the contract. Now this was a huge win for us, a massive financial relief and for us personally and professionally.
We didn't know exactly how we were going to execute on these thousands of event kits that we just sold in, but we believed in the idea and we just knew that we would find a way.
So you see, this was an early example of how hard could it be.
Totally.
From day one, we had this inner confidence in our ability to solve a client's problem and over-deliver.
So to make this happen, We got Mattel to have their Chinese factory send us massive bolts and yards of this special material that they use to make the dissolving gowns. We had to find someone to sew thousands of these tiny little packets of material. We made a special ring with the tagline from the ad campaign, "Love is Magic," and we packed it inside along with a waterproof insert. Each child would then either get a coupon to buy the doll right then, or they would instantly win the doll. And Mattel then sent us the giveaway dolls to pack into the kits. Do you remember that, Jerry?
Yes, I do. You mean when the truck driver pulled up to our office and says, "Where's the loading dock?"
Yeah, pretty much. We didn't quite understand at the time how much room the kit materials would take up.
So we brought in all our friends and family, and they painstakingly helped us pack the kits. The packets had to be hand counted, and so we had to send an instant winner into each kit. We filled the outside hallways of our office building with the kits and all the materials. We worked around the clock through the night just to meet our deadline, because we had to get these out to the field reps who were running the events. It was totally intense, but we didn't want to let our new client down. We didn't want to make our friend look bad. And after she had entrusted us to get all this done, we had to make her and her boss look good. So we lived up to our commitment.
Yep, the events took place in August. By Christmas, Magic Nursery was the #1 doll in the entire large doll category. In fact, one Walmart store sold 80 of these $40 dolls at a single 2-hour event in August. It was totally unheard of in terms of results. In fact, it was so amazing that Walmart not only was all in on events after that, but they started their own retailtainment division where they encouraged vendors across other categories to create their own in-store events that went beyond the idea of simple demos.
And so with that huge win, our agency was officially up and running. We quickly became the go-to reliable agency at Mattel Toys, working with brands like Barbie, Hot Wheels, Disney, Nickelodeon, Polly Pocket, Uno, you name it, we worked on it. We handled all of their major promotions, including events, sweepstakes, contests, free premiums, buy one, get one frees, holiday multi-brand events. We continued to be their go-to agency for 12 years at Mattel. We worked through multiple staff changes, reorgs, and Mattel really did provide us this reliable revenue stream. And we provided them reliable execution on ridiculously tight deadlines. During this time, I was able to consistently contribute my share financially to the family, and it built our confidence as new business that was going to last. In fact, it was so confident in the success that my husband and I decided to have a third child and buy our first home, just 2 years after we started our agency.
Yeah, we really learned so much early on from the Mattel experience. Most importantly, we learned to trust our approach of passionately connecting brands to their target audience and seeing the messaging through the eyes of that target.
Yep, that's correct. We learn to always do the right thing by the client, even when it's the hard thing, because the right thing and the hard thing are the same thing. So, it's been 30 years since we started. Happy anniversary, Yvette. Now are starting to open up and share our experiences so we can inspire and guide innovative marketers to shortcut the learning curve by uncovering new ways to generate awesome results.
Yeah, exactly what she said. Right?
Yep, that's it.
So often we see lead gen, sales, or even advocacy programs that are missing that little piece that could make the results explode. Some marketers aren't even using incentives at all. Others spend the money, but they don't give any thought to connecting the freebie to their brand beyond dropping a logo on some items. Still others, they don't maximize customer value by offering upsells or cross-sells. What we really want to do is help those marketers smash their goals by getting more out of their existing campaigns. Oh, and happy anniversary to you, Sherry.
Oh, thanks, Yvette. So I think Yvette's rant probably gave you a sense of the kind of topics that you can find us sharing. Make sure you continue to come back for more.